I'm AJ. I'm a Cyprus representative. I've also got Jens here with me today, who works for Cyprus, and he's going to help me out if I get stuck. So, sneak away from the speaker so that it doesn't buzz. All right. Cool. Okay. This is the founder of AirTech, Helmut Cloth, who couldn't be with us today, and so I am. So I'm just going to tell you very briefly a little bit about Helmut and the company that he's built. Helmut founded AirTech in Bad Württemberg in Germany about 29 years ago. And his express purpose for founding that company was to produce an all-new AAD. Some of you may remember the AADs of the past, big mechanical things that weren't necessarily very reliable. Helmut's purpose was to create one that was reliable and more discreet, more functional for skydivers. And this was what he created. It was a more reliable, more discreet AAD than the large mechanical AADs of the past, as we said. Skydivers, up until that point, had considered AADs taboo. They didn't really want to jump with one because they were unreliable. If you were seen with an AAD, you were either a student or a lunatic, in their opinion. And so he had to change the mindset of skydivers in general in order to get them to accept a new AAD. Further development of the revolutionary design that he came up with led to more and more specialised AADs, and we've now got specialised AADs for students, for tandems, for speed, etc., etc. There we go. Cyprus have now got 27 different versions of their AAD on the market. Some are for general skydiving use, some are very specialised ones. And they've gone through so much R&D that we now have in our rigs, all of us, the most ideal versions of AADs that we can possibly have. However, recent events and development have got Helmut thinking about the creation of a new AAD for a new up-and-coming discipline. The normal sequence of a skydive is we get out of the aircraft, we fall very fast towards the ground, we deploy our canopy, and then we fly it slowly down to the ground and land. Okay, so fast, slow. Makes sense? Cool. So this is the situation that our AADs were created for. But then wingsuiting came along. Now, wingsuiting's not a new thing, as you can tell from this picture. People have been toying with these wonderful contraptions for years. I think this picture is from the 40s, is that right? Yeah. This is a 1940s wingsuit. Looks absolutely amazing. So it's been around for a long time, but it's never been as popular or developed as fast or as far as it has in the last 5 or 10 years. Fixed wings aren't a new thing either. We had guys jumping these marvellous mechanical contraptions. This guy looks afraid. I would be afraid. Okay. Yeah, there are even several books that you can get on the subject of the guys that actually revolutionised and drove this discipline forward. I think that one's from Helmut's personal archive. Yeah. Okay. With the advances made in wingsuiting, we've now got the reverse of the problem that we had. We've now got bigger wingsuits, slower descent rates, on the freefall side of things, and then we've got faster, newer, sportier canopies. Okay. One of the things that highlighted to Helmut that we had a real problem was a few recent accidents. One of these was after a collision of 2 wingsuiters in freefall. One was injured but able to deploy his main, and the other was knocked unconscious, where he went into a flat spin. Which generated so much lift that his freefall speed came down to, was it about 50 odd miles an hour? Yeah, 62 miles, sorry. I can't read it from here, I'm too close to it. Yeah, his descent rate was only about 62 miles an hour, which meant that his AAD didn't fire because it didn't recognise that he was still in freefall. He was travelling too slowly. And very sadly, he didn't live to tell the tale. This is a graphical representation of the data that was taken from his AAD after the accident that shows his descent rate kind of from leaving the aircraft downwards. And as you can tell, it really doesn't change at all. We've got a straight line of best fit from the sky to the ground, basically. The AAD was fooled by the fact that he was falling so slowly. We had a similar accident in Switzerland a couple of years ago. It was a really experienced wingsuiter, but when he exited the aircraft, he had left his zipper undone by mistake, which put him into a spin that he couldn't correct. He was rendered unconscious and reached a descent rate of below, 51 miles an hour. Again, which meant that the AAD didn't recognise that he was still in free fall and therefore didn't fire. There have been other similar incidents in other countries in Europe, and I'm sure around the world as well, that we don't know about. And this is what inspired Helmut to start thinking about the fact that we need a new technology now to keep up with this discipline. It's outgrown what we've got. There we go. So yeah, the second half of the problem was that, yes, we have very slow descent rates when we're free falling in a wingsuit, but we've got smaller, sportier, more capable zippy canopies, which means that the canopy element of our descent could be potentially quite quick. So we've now got a problem in that we can't cope with these reverse circumstances with the technology that we've got at present, because we've got, instead of fast free fall and slow canopy ride, we've got slow free fall and fast canopy ride. I know we're not supposed to jump really fast sporty canopies when we're jumping a wingsuit, but we do. It's just what we do. Okay. Yeah, so most AADs, this is the Cyprus, are programmed with a high activation speed consistent with general free fall, and will activate should you still be falling at this particular speed or above at 750 feet-ish, depending on what you've set it to. If a wingsuiter or sky surfer, for example, was to reach activation height travelling at a lower speed than the set activation speed, it wouldn't go off, meaning we have a serious problem. A student model with its slow activation speed could solve one of these problems, but not both. If you were to jump a student AAD with a wingsuit, the lower activation speed of the student AAD would save you should you still be in free fall at 750 feet, but it means that you then can't really enjoy your canopy ride, because you've got to deploy your canopy and then fly it very, very sensibly, so as not to set the student AAD off. You would have to fly your canopy like a student again. Oh, who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. So, yeah, Helmut got thinking about methods to solve this problem, and the problem that he came across was that this isn't possible if we've only got one set of parameters within the AAD to cope with, i.e. fast free fall, activate at this speed, and then continue our canopy flight. So what he came up with was the idea that we now need an AAD that has two different sets of parameters in order to allow us to do our wingsuiting and remain safe, and then to fly our canopies in a sportier fashion as we would like to. So, like we said, slow free fall and fast canopy ride. That's the fast canopy ride. Cool. Helmut and his team have set about producing an AAD that does both of these things, and has come up with a successful AAD that will do both of these things. It's programmed with two sets of parameters, one for the free fall element of the canopy ride, of the skydive, and then one for the canopy ride element of the skydive. It was important to him that this AAD was just like any other. It's the same shape, it's the same size, it looks the same as a normal AAD, and requires minimal user interaction, just like any normal AAD. You turn it on and you forget about it. There it is, it's gone. So, here it is. Ta-da! Okay, this is the wingsuit Cypress. This is what Cypress have come up with to help solve this problem, and we think that it's awesome. Okay, a further consideration had to be made in the production of the wingsuit Cypress in that, how do we know that the AAD has switched modes from freefall mode to canopy mode when you deploy your canopy? Okay, how do you know that it's done that? Okay, so user confidence was something that was very important to the process of making this AAD. So the only difference between this and any other AAD is that it also has this, which is a little audible that goes in your helmet. Okay, when you deploy your canopy and the AAD switches modes from freefall to canopy mode, this little thing will beep in your ear to tell you that that's happened. Okay, and you can then fly off, zip off on your little sporty canopy with confidence, knowing that you're not going to end up with a dangerous 2-out situation, because then you'll have to pay for a repack and all sorts. Okay, we kind of discovered after the creation of the AAD, it doesn't just have applications to wingsuiting, it also has applications to sky surfing. It's another discipline that involves jumping a very large object that may dramatically slow your free fall speed, and therefore it's something for sky surfers to consider as well, having one of these in their rig. Okay. The gang at Cypress believe that they've created something that's covered all bases. They've considered everything that they possibly could, the enjoyment of the skydive, the safety aspect, user confidence, etc. Yeah, the only extra thing that would come with this AAD is you need to remember, listen for the beep, and if it doesn't beep, carry on carefully. Okay. I think the only other consideration that we were discussing today was the consideration in the aircraft of, if you have to land with the aircraft for any reason, turn it off. Mostly we would do this anyway, okay, or ask the pilot, please be very, very careful, at the very least. And the wingsuit AADs are available now. Oh, bless you.